Hello guys, my name's Tonka, this is Tonka Forge Wargaming, and today I'm going to try and answer your most frequently asked questions about Heresy 3.0. So what do I hope to see in Heresy 3.0? I think that's a pretty easy question to answer, to be honest. Very simply, I want it to be a fun, engaging two-player game. I don't want it to be a case of you go, they go. I want it to be a case of you're engaged for the full game. Both players get to participate in the game. It's not a case of right, we've got 2 hours to play the game, but your opponent spends an hour and a half of the game just doing whatever. I want quick games. I also want or would like for the rules to be clear, concise, easy to find, and unambiguous as possible. Essentially, what I'd like to avoid is the whole rules as written versus rules as intended, because we're always going to find there's always going to be someone out there who's going to go, I've read that rule and it means this, and it's like the rest of the community going, it doesn't. But if you can mitigate that as much as possible, I think from a pure gameplay point of view, that's something that I would like to see in 3.0, and I'm very confident that's going to be the case. I think also what I would like to continue being able to do is just let the dice decide the fate of the game. I think we all enjoy those moments where anything but a one, you roll that dice, roll it, and it's a one, and it has a massive impact on your game, and it's hilarious. I just want to be able to do shenanigans. I think from what we've seen so far in the Warcom previews, the veteran assault squads, that's really tickled my pickle. I'm very excited about that. And the idea of like assault squads and tactical swarming titans and bringing them down again, that just sounds crazy and would actually make me want to face a titan legion, or just a titan in general. So yeah, that sounds really exciting, and I'm looking forward to that. Am I going to start a new army for 3.0? Now, that's an interesting question because I'm very fortunate that I have quite a lot of armies already that I've built, accumulated, acquired over the years. I really enjoyed playing mech throughout 2024, and I really enjoyed playing Raven Guard and Alpha Legion Distrusted Allies for the latter part of 2025. Even if the Alpha Legion couldn't score, had -1 leadership, and couldn't, they were just, it's like 600 points of just, they couldn't really do anything to affect the game, but they were fun to how the two legions worked together and they complemented each other really well. So I'm looking, I'm looking forward to seeing. I think what it would be a case of, once I have a book in my hand, I'll be able to get a better taste and understanding of how the legions might play, and then I'll probably make an informed decision once I have a book in my hand. But yeah, I'm just really excited. It looks, the way that you can build the armies, the way that the army composition, the way that consoles seem to open up new like slots, so to speak. I'm looking forward to seeing how that works. I think it might mean that we're going to see different ways people build their armies. We're not going to get cookie cut armies where every army's got 2 whirlwinds, 2 Dreadios, 2 box noughts, and then 2 or 3 tactical squads. I think it's going to be quite interesting to see, how armies can actually be built and what people actually start bringing to events. I'm not interested in what's competitive. I just think it's going to be really interesting to see how people build those narrative armies. People will look at an army and go, that's really cool. Can I do this? And you can add, contemptors and artillery and super heavies. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how that works. But I think we will only be able to see that once people start going to events. People really understand how the hierarchy and the structure works, and then also work out what works for them on the tabletop. But yeah, again, I'm really excited. It's different, it's interesting, it's old school. It's got like epic 40k vibes, so I'm all over that. And yeah, I think it's going to be. I think, just going back to my question, what army am I starting? A new army, or will I just keep playing Mech and Raven Guard and then see what happens? I suppose the answer is I'm not intending on starting an army, a new army. However, I have got 3,500 points of World Eaters built and ready to go. And I think if I look at the World Eaters section of the book and I'm like, this is crazy, I've got this, I can run this, I think I'll just be full massed into doing a 3Ks or 3.5K of World Eaters or whatever. Just because I just want to play essentially just a massive throng, inverted commas, of, you know, ravening madmen with chain axes screaming across the board. I just want to do it. And I think if the rules are written in such a way, I'll just go straight into World Eaters. So the big question, what do I think to 3.0? And the honest answer is, I haven't really got a view. We've only been given a couple of articles on Warcom where they've gone into a bit more detail about things such as, you know, challenges, vehicles. You know, there isn't a huge amount of stuff to go on. I think until you have, you know, notwithstanding what's come out in the leaks, and we've seen pages like badly scanned on Heresy Facebook groups and whatever, I think until I have a book in my hand and I've played like 5 games of Heresy, I think it's going to be really difficult. I think it's really difficult for anyone to go, this is what I think, because it's not an informed kind of opinion. Yeah, you can do like off the top of your head, oh, you know, I don't like the idea of this, or that worries me a bit. All right, okay, fair enough. But for me to give an honest answer to the question, what do I think to 3.0, I can't answer it, because I need the book. I need to sit down with the book in a quiet room with no noise, no phone, no interruptions, probably a pen and paper, because I'm of that generation, and just literally just go through stuff and to get an idea of what the changes are. But I think we need to play the games to actually see how things work. I mean, yeah, one thing I'm a little bit worried about is some of the rules seem a bit more clunky. There seems to be there's more action points or steps to do certain things. But chances are, without having actually seen what all of those steps are, chances are we probably follow those steps anyway, but they've just set out exactly what they are. So someone can come into the Heresy, someone can come into and start playing games with the starter box and go, right, step 1, it's this. Step 2, it's this. Step 3, it's this. Very clear. And for me, that's what I want to see. I want clear and concise rules that are easy to follow. I wasn't expecting the extra stats. I had absolutely no idea about that until we saw them in one of the Warcom videos or articles. Again, I think that's really cool. It's a throwback to Rogue Trader, which is there. And, you know, I think if you look at a Space Marine, the stats are all the same. Okay, fair enough. But different consoles, characters, factions, legions, whatever, their stats might be different, and that might make things real swinging massively different in the game. So again, I am really looking forward to that. So the only thing that I would say that I dislike about what I've seen so far, and this won't be controversial because I think it's just how we all are, but I understand why it happens like this, is I don't enjoy the drip feeding of info. I personally don't want or need in my life to get a data burst, an announcement, an article thrown up on the website that you scan through in about 2 minutes, and it's just like, oh, okay, cool. Well, that's interesting. Okay, but for me, I want meat on bone. I want the rule book. I want the book in my hand, and as I've said, I want to be sat in not in a dark room, in a room on my own, no distractions, just give me the book and I want to digest it. However, I completely understand the flip side of it. The marketing, it's important to, build up hype, get people talking, such as what I'm doing now. But it's also to a degree to manage change, because we're all creatures of habit, generally speaking. And I personally am not a massive fan of change. So when a new edition comes out, such as this, and I think it's also important to emphasize, I wasn't expecting a new edition. I was expecting maybe 2.5 with some tweaks. So to get a whole new edition is kind of like rock my world a little bit. But by having 2 or 3 months of like releases, articles, and promo, I think it helps the community adjust and prepare for what the new edition is going to look like. Again, I've never been a fan of drip feeding information. I'm not a fan of downloadable content. I just want to buy a game and walk away and play it. So going back to what do I think on what I've seen so far, I'm cautiously optimistic. I am excited. I have every confidence that the boys in the rules team have actually, they've been working their socks off. We're gonna get a good edition, and we're gonna get a fun edition. I think where I am at the moment, until I get that book, until I get at least 5 games under my belt, I'm not going to be in a position to give an informed opinion, or an opinion of any merit that's ever got any value. And I'm always really keen to emphasize that I think when people are going to express an opinion, it needs to be from an informed point of view. And yeah, you can say, oh, it might be this, or it better not be that for a bit of drama. If they want to do that, that's fine. But for me, it's the case of, I want fact. I want to know. I just want the book. Just give me the book, and then and then I'll come back and give an informed opinion.